Everyone says just start a business. But no one talks about the sleepless nights, the 6 a.m. hustle before work, or the pressure of doing it all. This is the truth. This is the truth about building a business while working a 9 to 5 and how to actually make it work. Now, to give you a little bit of my experience, and I was able to do this. I was able to build a six-figure company and get over, and I say six figures at that time because that's what it was. I was able to do $110,000 in sales in my first 6 months of business by the grace of God. And I was able to do it while working a full-time job. So I'm not teaching you or telling you stuff that is not practical. I'm not going to be telling you stuff that doesn't work. I'm not going to be telling you stuff that is not real. I'm telling you my real life experience and how I was able to do $100,000 in sales in my first 6 months of business while working full-time, and was able to close the year out at over $300,000 in sales. Now, the hard truth is you have to acknowledge that this is going to be exhausting, overwhelming at times. Sometimes you're not going to have no balance. The grind is going to be a difficult one. And like I said, we got to look at it as it's not about the perfect balance, but about strategic sacrifices. You're going to have to decide what you're going to cut out and what you're going to push, what you're going to step back on. And you might miss dinners with your friends. You might miss brunch. You might miss a Netflix series, all because you are putting that time in and grinding. Listen, I'm getting up every morning, going to work, working full time, coming home from work and putting time into my business. I'm packing orders, I'm making products, I'm doing all of this stuff after work. Here's the best part. Only that in the morning, I have to load my car up full of bags. I smile thinking about it. Loading my car up full of trash bags, full of envelopes to take to the post office on my lunch break. I remember the first day I walked into the office with one or two, nobody said nothing, and I'm talking about one or two envelopes. I remember when that one or two envelopes turned into one trash bag, when one trash bag turned into five trash bags turned into 10, and I'm walking these in through the main door of our office every day and dropping them in my office because I couldn't allow my products to sit in the car all day till lunch only to go ship. And I remember one day my boss asked, David, what is going on? What are all these bags? And I looked and I smirked and I said, freedom. And he looked at me crazy and I said, you remember I told you I'm going to be retired from this company by 25 or you guys can put me down in the back. I had a plan, I had a goal, I had a understanding and a realization that my job was the stepping rungs to my success, that my job was the ladder, the stairway to where I needed to go. I understand and realize that if I wanted to become successful, if I wanted to go as far as I wanted to go, if I wanted to be the person that I needed to be, I didn't need more hours in the day. I needed better intentions. I needed to make sure that I was blocking off my time, that I was hustling, that I was grinding, that I was doing the things necessary for my continued growth. Listen, I can't hold you, I can't hide, I can't lie, I can't do none of that. What I'm going to tell you is the truth, and this truth is not an easy truth. The truth is this is going to be a rough road, a rough journey. But at the end of this journey, it's worth it. At the end of the time, it's going to be what you need. You're going to need the things that's necessary for you to sit back and be able to retire, to sit back and relax, to sit back and take care of your family, to sit back and just have that life of leisure. It's going to take some sacrifice in the beginning. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some time. It's going to take you really just figuring out the direction and what it's worth to attain or to head in that direction and then building it out. You're going to need to start time blocking your day, scheduling out study time like you are back in school. You're going to need to start studying what others are doing on social media. And let me give you some tips. Let me give you some ideas. Let me give you some help. See, back in the day, I used to pay people on Fiverr to do case studies on other people's brands so that I didn't have to sit down and do all the work, but I could learn as much as I could on their marketing strategy and how they moved and who they are. But now you have ChatGPT. Now I can jump on ChatGPT and I can upload all of my competitors' Instagram or TikTok videos and ask ChatGPT, tell me what's working. Help me build out my schedule. Help me figure out a plan. Listen, I can take the fact that I only have 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day to do work. And I can upload that into AI and say, listen, I have 2 hours a day that I have allotted to work on my business. What strategic things can I do in these 2 hours to further my process in my business? What can I do in these 2 hours to grow? You see, what you have to understand is your 5 to 9 builds your freedom from your 9 to 5. And if you put that time, that effort, and that energy into building your 5 to 9, that 9 to 5 will fund your that 9 to 5 is throwing gasoline onto your business, because now you have that money you can take from your job, invest that into your business, so you get enough money that you can step out of your job. And I know what you're thinking. What about burnout? David, I get tired. Listen, I get tired too. Listen, I still work a lot. I still show up at my office. Listen, I got here today at 6 a.m. My employees don't come in until 9. And I'm not going to leave till after probably 7 when they leave at 5. This is the life of an entrepreneur. Now, let me be transparent. I don't only work on one business. I'm continually moving, continually working, continually doing things. So if I'm managing my properties in Belize, or I am sitting here on Pure Tropics, or I'm working on Lashuria, or I'm running the lab making products for other people, or I'm sitting down coaching other entrepreneurs on how to scale their business, how to make more money, how to go from where they are to where they want to be. So I wear many hats. But even in those many hats, I still find time to take the kids to the park. Still in those many hats, I still find time to go home and cook some jollof rice, some oxtails, and some stewed cabbage for me and my girl. So I still have time to sit down and watch one episode of Rick and Morty at night, because I allow myself to do that. I still have time to go to the gym. We just have to figure out how to better manage our time so that our success is guaranteed. So our success does not burn us out. And listen, even in those times where you get burnt out, even in those times where you are low, even in those times where you don't know what to do, listen, I want you to understand, and I want you to realize that just because you are putting it in, reward yourself. So what I do is, if I hit a sales goal for the month, I allow myself the opportunity to go on a vacation. This is not how it works starting out. You might allow yourself to go to dinner. Now, once you start making money, if I bust my butt for this quarter and I hit my sales goal this quarter, I am headed to a country of my choice. I'm frugal and cheap, so I might catch a Spirit flight to Costa Rica or Colombia and get an Airbnb and be at peace. But that is just how I manage. I go, I separate, I step out, and I look back, and I go somewhere to be able to chill and contemplate. There are times in my days where I might just go to the park and sit there and write in my journal and look over the grass and just see and sit at peace. You just have to find things to manage your time better, to manage the stress, to meditate, to sit still and avoid burnout. That's all we can do. But you're not lazy, you're just overloaded, so it's a different thing. But in order to build this business, in order to really go to that next level, especially while working a job, you have to have your goals in mind. You have to be laser focused, and you have to put that time in. Now, I understand that every job is different, but if you have a job where you're sitting at your desk and you can listen to YouTube or music or have one ear pod in your ear, you should be feeding your mind business stuff. You should be listening to podcasts. You should be watching Sleep is for Suckers, David Shands, and listening to his stuff. You should be listening to The Compound Effect. You should be listening to Relentless. You should be listening to Release Your Brakes. That's an amazing old school book that changed my whole way of thinking. There's so many different things and so many different ideas and concepts that we can do to make ourselves emotionally resistant. That way our 9 to 5 won't drain us. That way we find peace and joy in coming home from our job and sitting down and focusing on our future, on our business, on our ideas, on our legacy, and on the direction that we want to go. We need to build with micro momentum, small wins daily that keep us encouraged. So set actionable tasks. Set those tasks the night before. Sit down and do what you have to do. Lock in. Your job doesn't care about you. You go to a job that you hate. And some of us sometimes like our jobs for a little bit. But we go to a job that we hate and pretend to be someone we're not. To sit around with people we don't necessarily care to sit around with, to make some money that's not enough to cover our bills. That's not a life, that's not living, that's not the way we should be doing. But I want you to understand that with a blueprint, with a plan, with a direction, you can go so much further. You can be so much better. You can take things to a whole nother level. But it starts with you locking in. It starts with you deciding that you want to go to that next level. It starts with you deciding that enough is enough. Once you get tired of your own BS, once you get tired of watching others win, once you get tired and realize that this job is not going to be the be all and end all for you, and then you realize that you want more out of life, you realize that the grass may be greener on the other side. You might have to do a little bit more work to keep that grass green, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. Everything that you want, everything that you need, everything that you want out of this life, out of this business, out of this is on the other side of fear. Is on the other side of procrastination. Is on the other side of waiting around. But if you start doing the things that you need to do, if you do the things that are necessary, if you sit down with a plan and build out a strategy and say, listen, I'm going to work this job for the next 1 year. Whether or not I make money in my business, I'm going to put my all into this next year every day. When I go home, I'm going to put 2 hours into my business. Guaranteed. Undistracted work. Listen, you will be so successful, it's not even funny. And listen, I got a whole plan, a whole direction, a whole community of other people just like you in the link below. People who are working 9 to 5s, people who have graduated and quit their jobs, people who have made 100,000 in 6 months, people who have followed their dreams and their plans and built something great. People who want to help you and inspire you and show you the way. So click the link below. Let us help you. Your job isn't your jail. It's your investor. Build smart, stay consistent, and when the time is right, walk out with a business that's already working. Walk out with a direction. Walk out with a plan, but do not quit your job just because you want to start a business. Allow your job to invest in your business. Invest in your business yourself. Put that time, effort, and energy into going to that next level. Put that time, effort, and energy into being the person that you need to be. If you continually drag your feet, if you continue to say, I don't want to do this, or I don't know what direction to go, or I don't know this or this or that, listen, we're not going to get nowhere. You can build a successful business while working. You can funnel a little bit of your paycheck into your business every week so your business surpasses what you make in a year in a month. Imagine going to work making 60,000. I think I was making like 65,000 at that job. I took a pay cut to be at that job simply because I didn't want to move far from my house. So I'm doing 65,000 and my business is making $80,000 a month. I'm doing 65,000 a year. My business is doing 80,000 a month. And someone's like, why don't you quit? I didn't quit because I wanted to put all my money back into my business. I didn't quit because I wanted to focus on my growth and I wanted to have all that. I didn't quit because my job was so easy. I would literally go sit at a desk and read maintenance manuals and tell them what I thought on it. And so I had time to listen and time to grow, and I could put all of that. And while I'm doing that, I have 2 cousins at my house packaging boxes and doing all of this. I'm slowly growing. I'm slowly building into who I need to be. I'm slowly building into what I need to be. And by doing that, you're going to go to the next level. By doing that, you're going to step into something great. But it all starts with you deciding, committing, and doing.